Welcome back to For the Win, the greatest gaming podcast in the world. Quick announcement for the win. FTW podcast is officially on Spotify and Instagram. After the pod, check out the description below for all the links. Also, if you could please do us a favor and give us the obligatory thumbs up, hit the notification bell, leave a comment letting us know your thoughts on all the hot takes of this week's topics. It really helps us out. And if you're a weekly listener, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. We really, really do appreciate it. Here we go. So much happened this week. Let's get this party started. After one too many drinks, Ninja goes off on streamer Ronaldo, calling him washed up and irrelevant. In a combined stream with Tim the Tapman and Cloaksy, Ninja lets the smack talk fly while clearly under the influence. Tim attempted to quiet Ninja multiple times, but to no avail. Streamer Ronaldo took it personal and responded. Let's check out the clip.
Is that actually Ronaldo?
I don't think so.
I don't think that's
I mean, the thing with YouTube is anyone can make any accounts.
Yeah, I don't think that's actual Ronaldo.
Also, Ronaldo is
Listen,
like
if you're
literally
actual
like
Ronaldo-
1/20th of our following and is completely irrelevant. So we should probably just keep opening cases.
I love Ronaldo. Ronaldo.
Why you hating
That's
on
not
him?
actual.
He tried to be an IRL streamer and failed miserably. So he's
That's not Ronaldo.
it can't be the same.
Is that Ronaldo? If it's Ronaldo, we love you.
It's not the same.
I don't think it's a real one.
How drunk is Tyler? He's like
actually
basically like water.
The whole thing with YouTube, anyone can impersonate.
I am like water. You pour me into a cup, I become the cup.
Ronaldo, are you actually Ronaldo?
Pour me into Tim's. I am
We've
his.
said it is actually him. So
Hi, Ronaldo. Sorry.
I don't know why
you're
Ty
a fake.
cooked. I don't know why Ty was cooking like
Hey,
that,
bro.
bro.
I thought you were
Hey.
a fake. Sorry.
Hey Ronaldo, man, keep uploading those, IRL videos, bro. You're killing it.
I didn't know that was actually Ronaldo.
Listen, can we open up cases?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dennis.
I didn't know that it was actually Ronaldo. Listen. The worst part about YouTube is anyone can copy anyone's name.
Hey, Ronaldo peaked when he was playing Fortnite. I'll say it.
I mean,
Am I the only one that's actually gonna sit here and say it?
Dude, I mean,
we all
And now he's trying. He's trying to get.
there's highs and lows.
And he's trying to get into drama.
Highs and lows.
Hey, Ronaldo, you're better than drama, dude. All right, get back into the f***ing competitive scene. You're washed.
What?
I said it, dude.
How does that make
Listen,
sense?
I said what I said, bro.
I think Ronaldo is
No,
a
I'm
good
saying
gamer.
you told him to
He
get
needs
back
to
in the
stay.
competitive scene,
Yeah.
and then you also said
He's
you're
washed up,
It
bro.
makes
Listen,
no
I think
sense.
Ronaldo, you're like a combination of
He's a great gamer.
of clicks, like, oh my god, I might be good at the game, and like myth, like you went to YouTube and what happened? You know what I mean? Like that's you right
Okay.
now.
All right.
What? I said what I said.
Shut up!
I said what I
Shut
said.
up! Shut up!
Holy.
Holy
You know what I mean, though?
no!
We like Ronaldo.
Stop!
I'm a Ronaldo fan.
Oh
like
my God,
Ronaldo.
Ty, dude.
And I'm a myth fan. He
Holy-
used to build towers into the sky.
We
Now
like-
put his-
Less is more right now.
Yes.
Less is more.
We like Ronaldo.
Thank you.
We didn't know that was real to Ronaldo.
Stopped it there. So he is obviously just out of his mind right there. And Tim, God bless Tim, his friend is trying to he realizes what's happening. He's like, dude, stop. Unfortunately, it didn't go over well because if I see that, I'm like, yeah, this guy's being an idiot. He's drunk, whatever. But Ronaldo watched the clip and let's just say he was not happy. We'll just roll some of his response here.
You're better than drama, dude. All right? Get back into the fucking competitive scene. You're washed.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you blue-haired but I'm 90% sure the word fell off was created after your career, if I'm not mistaken. I actually genuinely believe people started using that terminology when you stopped streaming. Correct me if I'm wrong though, because I never heard of that until someone who had 225k average viewers playing with Drake, partying with Travis Scott, and then immediately goes down to 3k viewers unless he streams Fortnite, which he'll get 10, which is amazing, but for 20 million followers, I guess not. But apparently, I fell off, and my peak was Fortnite. So then he responded with, my apologies, dude. I had no reason to blast you like that. I was completely gone and just feeling some type of way. No reason to randomly and unnecessarily throw shade at you, brother. I don't expect you to forgive me either. I just wanted to reach out and say I'm sorry. You're a great streamer and content creator. If I'm a great streamer and content creator, why are you saying 1,000 viewers is bad, that my YouTube isn't good, and that my community basically sucks? That's my question. I feel like what this was is your attempt at PR training, because that's what you do. You know that too.
Dude, I already reached out to him and apologized for the. I mean, Ronaldo wasn't ready for the level of banter that me and the boys dish at each other.
I'm not your boy. I've never been your boy. You just came at, bro. I'm gonna use the same analogy like I use. It's like you go to someone's concert and they put the spotlight on you and they call you broke and they call you a loser in front of 30,000 people. You would feel some type of way. I'm not your boy. Boys don't say that. Do y'all say that about your boys?
All right, we'll stop there. Obviously, Ninja's in the wrong, and alcohol totally clouded his judgment. And it's like, that's the risk you run, drinking on stream. I think drinking on stream is just a terrible idea in general. It's just like instant regrets there. But my super hot take is I actually do believe Ninja and his apology. And I think for whatever reason, whatever Ninja said, really, really hit a soft spot in Ronaldo, and he took it, the Michael Jordan meme, and I took that personally. Whatever it was, he really hit a spot, and I don't even think he realized it, because he really, like, I think Ronaldo just took it to the next level, even though, yeah, it's not like, it wasn't nice, the things he said and all this, and I'm not defending Ninja. I think Ninja's dead wrong. However, I think Ronaldo took it way too personal. Like, he got mad about that.
No, he did not, because
I don't think so
Ninja
either.
kept going right back. He kept circling back. He kept going. He kept digging deeper and turning the knife over and over and over. No, man, that's proper retaliation.
So no excuses for being drunk. None.
No, especially once your friends tell you to shut the up, you shut the up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
he was
true. His
already
friends
being
were trying.
reeled in, and he would not. He kept doubling down, and his excuse of, "Oh, I didn't think you were the real one." That's not something you say to an imposter. Because he wasn't calling this fake Ronaldo out. He was calling him a bunch of shit, and so no excuse. Being drunk, like, he's a grown ass man, dude. You should know how you operate drunk. Right? If you are somebody that pops off and says shit you shouldn't be saying when you're drunk,
That's true.
don't do it in public when you're a public figure. Right?
Yeah, and in my opinion, there's few things that you can make fun of that'll hurt more than going after like a man's livelihood, like an ability to provide and make money. And, it obviously is the truth at some point. I think alcohol does that. It'll bring out the truth in some way or another. A lot of times, just because it lowers your judgment and you can't filter. But yeah, like that, when like you're making fun of people or whatever, like going after a man's livelihood, that's like
Not there to defend himself,
he's not there to defend himself. That's like a no fly zone.
And that's what Ronaldo was saying. It was like when they said, "Oh, he wasn't ready for how me and the boys banter." He's not your boy. He wasn't there, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's how it is. You don't bust somebody's balls that's not there to bust them back. That's the worst move you could do. That's low. That's so low.
Because he apologized, but then by saying that, he negated his apology like immediately.
Yeah. Exactly. 100%. I'm with you 100% on that, John. Like I said, he's a grown ass adult. He's not 21. He's not just turned 21. He's like he's 30, right? How old is Ninja?
Yeah.
He's like 30.
Well, he's a Halo 3 MLG pro.
Like he's been around the block. He knows how he is when he's drunk. Like, if you are someone that pops off when you're drunk, don't drink on stream. Like, I don't pop off and say mean shit when I'm drunk. I'm way nicer when I'm drunk. I'm like a happy, cuddly drunk. Some people are mean drunks. So if you're a mean drunk or you just are a rude drunk, don't do it in front of people, man. That easy. It's that easy. You should know that by now when you're 30.
I agree. I agree. I think it's totally fair, and I think moral of the story is like just don't drink on stream. Don't do it. I genuinely
in
believe
front of a bunch of like 12-year-old
Yeah,
middle
yeah, yeah.
schoolers. And it's like, dude.
I do believe that his intentions weren't Ninja's intentions weren't completely like ill. Like I don't think he actually hates Ronaldo or really thinks he's garbage. I do think there is a grain of truth. I don't think Ninja was completely lying. I think he does feel some type of way, but I don't think he's like, has ill will towards him. But at the end of the day, like you said, like you gotta know if you're gonna pop off like that, and just you can't drink on stream.
But it really like reveals like a really deep insecurity, because it came out of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
it was just his
Unprompted.
name was brought up, and then it was just like, let's say all of these horrible things about this guy, like kicking O'Malley's down. Like
Yeah.
it just out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
Talking like David, we've been playing games for like almost 20 years at this point. I am not a
Mhm.
talker when it comes to gaming at all.
No, none of
I
us
hate
are.
it. I
Except
do
for
the
this.
exact. I've done the exact opposite.
Yeah,
and think
yeah.
about his criticisms of Ronaldo is like the same thing people criticize him for.
That's
You know,
actually
peaking
true.
in Fort Life and then falling off. Like, dude, you're saying exactly what you did.
It's exactly it. It's an insecurity that it's projecting. It was
Yeah.
It's very clearly projecting, and he saw a target that wasn't there to defend himself, so he took it out on him. So,
Yeah. It's a tough situation, and Tim, like, I mean, you can see Tim like dude, stop. Like he loves his friend. He's like, bro, stop, trying to get him to stop. And I
Same
almost
with the other streamer too.
like, honestly, if 20 hindsight's 2020, but if I'm Tim in that situation, I'm like hitting mute on the mic
yeah,
instantly.
no, I was wondering that the whole time. I was like, why is no one hitting mute? Like,
Hit mute, like, dude, protect your friend. Like, he's being an idiot right now. Like, you're gonna save him a lot of grief. Make him pay you $100 and say, yo, I just saved you. But I mean, it's easy to say that from our perspective, but I hope they get it I hope they get it worked out. I hope Ninja can kind of see the perspective of Ronaldo of how kind of uncool it was, but we'll see. Who knows? Streamer drama. Halo MCC finally receives an update this week. Update will include custom game browser for Firefight, Halo 3 gun game, Halo 4 campaign theater, cut Halo CE and Halo 2 content from 2001 to 2005, custom video background menu feature, Halo Online, unreleased maps added for modders, and custom controller binds / mapping. It only took a decade to get custom controller binds. Love that.
right. The amount of cut content that's bringing out from their dig site team is impressive. It's
Yeah.
pretty nuts. Like, we're gonna get then the fact that they're recreating stuff that they have the assets for, but it's not fully there. Like, we're gonna get, if I remember right, we're getting the E3 demo that wasn't really running on an Xbox.
Yeah.
But now they're like, they're gonna make it work. But they got the melee combo system that we saw in the demo too. That's in, so that's real cool. And what I'm really excited about is the unreleased remakes of Halo 1 maps for Halo 2 that were used during development.
They also are doing like 8-player firefight.
Yeah.
Which would be pretty crazy. But they're also letting you leave and join back in firefight games, which means now you can have them in the custom games browser, which will be pretty cool, I think. Getting 8 players in a firefight, like legendary firefight, would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. It sounds really cool. And there was a small note that on the 8-player firefight, the enemies aren't going to scale with that, so there's not going to be more. They're not going to get harder or anything like that. But it is still just like really, really cool. And I actually have a new appreciation for firefight because it's one of those things where you can, like, I was playing with Dad the other day, and you can't really do matchmaking. Like, I can't play matchmaking with my dad. He's not going to have a
Yeah.
good time. But like we can jump in firefight and like mess around and play for a couple hours, and like it's good fun, and he's having fun, I'm having fun because I'm just carrying. By the end of it, I had like 3,000 kills, he had like 300. But it's so fun to actually have something to play together. And so
Yeah, one other interesting thing I saw was the Halo 3 escalation
yeah,
escalation slayer. It's running on a different engine than standard uh, Halo 3 Slayer. So it's going to be more like dynamic with like how the guns change, and like the HUD is going to look different, and you'll be able to see you can use the spike grenades to lower people's rank if you get a kill with a spike grenade, and so you can see like where your rank is and like what the next weapon is, and then the final weapon is going to be the golf club.
nice.
So
That's
it's
actually
like
cool.
I thought that was pretty interesting that they're like using a different version of the engine to do Halo 3 gun game basically.
Interesting. I didn't know that part about it.
My only asterisk is, God, I wish they would fix some of the Halo CE multiplayer problems, but I am not putting my hopes at all. I don't think any. I mean, nothing in the the patch notes, the update notes said anything about any multiplayer fixes. So I'm kind of just giving up on that. But I got Diablo, so I'm having fun. Microsoft wins FTC fight to buy Activision Blizzard. A California judge is allowing Microsoft to close its acquisition of Activision Blizzard after 5 days of grueling testimony. Microsoft still faces an ongoing antitrust case by the Federal Trade Commission, but Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley has listened to arguments from both the FTC and Microsoft and decided to deny the regulator's request for a preliminary injunction. Once finalized, Microsoft will own Call of Duty, Diablo, World of Warcraft, Crash Bandicoot, StarCraft, Overwatch, Candy Crush, Guitar Hero, Hexen, Skylander, Spyro the Dragon, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, to name a few. Maybe we'll get Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4. Maybe, just maybe. Oh, please, Lord, please bring
can
back
hope. We can
Vicarious
only hope.
Visions.
Or at least put matchmaking back, online play back into 1 and 2.
Please. Oh,
Like
please.
the fact I can't even play that with you anymore, dude.
I
sucks.
know.
Yeah.
I have
Sucks
another
so hard.
friend. Shout outs to Taylor. We try and play together and we can't. It's his only game.
Yeah.
He bought an Xbox for that game. We try and play it together and we can't.
Wow.
Multiplayer. We would just sit on the phone and talk and play it. Ah.
Yeah.
What do you think about this, guys? It's exciting. I'm actually getting excited for it. Now that it's over, I'm kind of like, Game Pass?
It's not
Game
over
Pass?
yet. It could still be halted through other means. It's not happening. That's just not
FTC can still appeal.
And then we still have to worry about like the whole thing when like Europe, like Europe has, like,
but they're negotiating a deal right now. They paused, so they're coming back to the table to negotiate. I read this morning. So
the best thing I saw about this was Sony keeps screaming about they're gonna make Call of Duty Xbox only, and there is nothing in all the documents, including all these super secret Xbox, internal documents, where they've even thought about making Call of Duty exclusive. There isn't an inkling. Besides they go, that'd be a good move. Like, everybody agrees that'd be a good move. So much so that it hasn't even had to be said at all, So, like, there's no basis for this, expectation, besides the fact that just about everybody with 2 brain cells says, yeah, that'd probably be a good, real good business move.
Yeah, what's been interesting too is seeing how it's people are like their judges trying to figure out like, okay, so where do the Switch and PC gaming like fall into this? Like, should they be included with this? Because right now the FTC is, just kept bringing up Sony and Microsoft, and so the quote from the judge, she said, before the merger, A consumer wanting to play a Call of Duty console game had to buy a PlayStation or an Xbox. After the merger, consumers can utilize the cloud to play on the device of choice, including it is intended on the Nintendo Switch. Perhaps bad for Sony, but good for Call of Duty gamers and future gamers. So Call of Duty will be more widely available if this goes through than if it doesn't. And so it's like, it might be bad for Sony, but we're not in the interest of protecting Sony. We're in the interest of protecting the consumers.
Right.
Yeah. And they have a 10-year, it's a 10-year deal, right? And they're bringing it to, they're a 10-year deal to leave it on PlayStation, Call of Duty on PlayStation, and bring Call of Duty to Switch. After 10 years, who knows what could happen? But like, dude, that's so funny that it's FTC is like bringing up Sony. It's like, it may as well be Sony versus Microsoft court case. It's
Right.
like, who are we fighting for right now? And I think this is, if it goes through I mean, look, they had a chance to present their case, and they could not bring a good case for why this wouldn't be allowed. So it is what it is.
Yeah, because I don't see after this Microsoft, Activision Blizzard like becoming a monopoly. I think this deal going through actually prevents Sony from, I mean, they're on a course to become like a monopoly.
Yeah, they've been
Ever since
systematically
the
doing
Xbox
it.
One flopped, like they've been like just completely dominating.
Gobble. Just getting it all.
They're just mad somebody else is taking, a play right out of their playbook.
A South Park meme is now a real Hello Kitty game. Launching July 28th, a new life sim and adventure game called Hello Kitty Island Adventure for iOS devices via Apple Arcade. What was once a South Park meme for an infamous World of Warcraft episode is now becoming a real game. Have you guys remember this clip? You guys seen this?
From like almost 20 years ago at this point.
I
Yeah.
can't believe it's that old.
It's,
Let's just check out the clip just for funsies here. Like,
So what's the plan? All right, log in tonight from your computers at precisely 7:30. We will meet here on the plains of the Elwyn Forest near Westfall. My friends, to victory!
To victory! I don't play World of Warcraft.
Butters, you said you're on your computer all the time.
Yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Butters, go buy World of Warcraft, install it on your computer, and join the online sensation before we all murder you.
Oh, all right then.
we'll stop it right there. Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so good. And it's a real game, and it's coming to mobile devices via the Apple Store soon. How funny is that almost 20 years later?
So to tie into our previous topic, I kind of am fingers crossed that maybe WoW will come to consoles.
Oh my God. Imagine.
They could make it possible. I
I
think
didn't
that
even
would
think
be
about that.
huge.
John, do you remember when we went to PAX and they were giving out Hello Kitty Online?
I don't remember that specifically.
Oh my gosh.
Hello Kitty Online.
There was a free MMO, Hello Kitty Online, and they were giving out physical copies. And Raymond, Kyle, we kept walking by the booth. They just kept handing it to us. So, like, there's a picture of me posing next to about 40 copies of the game that we had by the end of PAX. And then I got banned from it right away when I tried
I was not ready for that twist.
Oh, yeah.
Why did you get
Instantly.
banned? How do you get banned from Hello Kitty MMO? What?
I'll give you 2 guesses.
Being inappropriate. And
Oh my God.
I got just being a troll. I got banned in minutes. Absolute just minutes.
That's amazing.
The studio hasn't confirmed or denied that it's actually related to the South Park episode, but
I mean, the name alone is just that's the real name of it, right? Hello Kitty Island
Yeah.
Adventure.
yeah,
Like
it's the exact
co-
name.
it's really hard at that point to say it's not a reference to the to the episode.
Hitman developer opens new studio in Brighton. IO Interactive, the developer behind the Hitman series, are in active development on Project 007, Project Fantasy, and Hitman. All 5 IO studios are working on a full-fledged James Bond game.
What kind of game is it? Gonna be a stealth game? That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They haven't said much, and they still kind of have the, they're using the code names, right? Project Fantasy, Project 007. So, but all 5 studios are working on it. So that'd be kind of cool. I don't remember the last time there was a really cool spy, what am I trying to say? Not action hero. I guess, what is James Bond? Spy?
He's a spy.
Spy game that's been like awesome, So
I really like the GoldenEye remake on Wii, like from over a decade ago now. Yeah, like it was.
Did it have Daniel Craig's likeness?
It did have Daniel Craig's likeness, and the plot was basically GoldenEye, but like modernized. And so the levels were all different. And that game had a solid multiplayer that, like, I've watched like a retrospective on the multiplayer actually. Like, it had a really solid community, and like it became one of the most popular like sub forums on game FAQs. Actually, was GoldenEye Wii. So I really liked it, and I was playing for a while. I remember when MCC came out. I have a YouTube video of me showing how I can't get into an MCC match, but I could still get into a GoldenEye match. Like, on the Wii. The Wii was like, that was 2014.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was insane. It showed me like trying to get an MCC and just been like waiting, couldn't get into anything, because this was when MCC was brand new. We were still having all those connectivity issues. I was like, meanwhile, on the freaking Wii, I can just took 2 minutes. I was in a match. Like,
one of my video gaming core memories comes from the Hitman series.
Oh yeah, what's that?
I was at my neighbor's house playing. He was playing Hitman 1 on a PC, and he was like, "Check this out!" And he like shot and killed a guy, and a pool of blood formed on the floor. And then he walked through it, and then he's like, "Look at this!" And then there was bloody footsteps like behind him as he walked, and I was just like,
Whoa.
"Dude!" I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And that like image of watching that screen has like been with me for 20 plus years.
So many people think my my barcode tattoo is a Hitman reference because it's on the back of my neck. But it's not. But he has it on the back of his head. And like, it's a Dark Angel reference. Come on, James Cameron, people. Come on.
Now that I think about it, our neighbor was he was obsessed with Hitman. He actually got a black suit, leather gloves, and like a red tie, and would just like wear that around.
I forgot about that.
Did he shave his head?
No, he didn't shave his head. But he wore suits for work, and then every once in a while he would just be like, "Yeah, it's Hitman Day. We're wearing Hitman."
Yeah, but see, that's not so weird until you bring in the gloves.
Yeah,
and that becomes. It's one thing if you're like, it's a sharp look, man. I really dig it. I'm like, yeah, no, that makes sense. So I wear these leather gloves that assassins wear.
He pulls out
weird.
wire.
Right.
Oh man.
I gotta swing by the piano store on the way home. I gotta get some piano wires for work.
Yeah.
You walk into the piano store dressed like that, and like, yeah, I don't want a piano. I just need some what are the some
You're like, I need some piano wire. Oh, what kind of piano do you have? I don't have a piano.
Then Hitman 2 came out, and it had one of the most epic main menus of all time, and we just sat there for like 10 minutes listening to that song over and over again.
Diablo 4 Season 1 drops July 20th. 7 chapters of seasonal challenges, new legendary aspects, new unique items, a new boss battle, and a full battle pass progression. My body is ready.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new season. I want to know if any of the new abilities will make defeating Uber Lilith easier. That's kind of what I'm curious about.
Yeah, even at level 100, unless you have used some exploit or you have some crazy weird specced out thing, it's like brutal. You're looking at like an hour-long fight of just being perfect, though. You have to be perfect because you get one tapped, you get hit once. That's crazy. Twitch introducing stories and discovery feed. Announced at TwitchCon Paris, Twitch is introducing a new stories feature, providing streamers with a further way to reach their followers when not live streaming. Stories will last for 24 hours and appear on Twitch mobile app, similar to other social media platforms. Yeah, welcome to 2023, Twitch. Glad you're here. Like, are we? I think that's great. I would have loved to have that 4 years ago when I was streaming on Twitch and posting content every day. I don't know.
See, I think what people forget about and don't take into account when like with like the videos and the reels and things like that. So like Twitter, you can do video on Twitter, you can do video on Instagram, you can do video on Twitch. All of these things are like terrible compared to YouTube simply because of YouTube search functionality. Like the algorithm was one thing, but I can type anything that I'm looking for into YouTube and find a short or a video about it. If I see a reel on Instagram, unless I like send it to someone, it might as well be gone after I watch it. Like I cannot find it again. Like you can't.
I hate those.
They're just
I hate
disappear, never to be seen again.
I don't know what the problem is. Like, does nobody? It frustrates me. I'm just like, does no one else that works on these things like see this problem where I can't go back to the fucking thing and show it to somebody else to get another view? Like,
all these other platforms are completely unsearchable. But I mean, YouTube has Google behind it, and like that's what they do. And so, like, I'll never be a avid like reel watcher or Twitter video watcher or anything else. Like, unless I can search for something and find something that I've watched before.
do I care that Twitch has added this function that like everybody's had since like 2016? No. I don't. Like that was 8 years ago that everyone else added this function.
I mean, I rarely watch anything on Twitch anymore.
Yeah. Honestly, most
Same.
streams I watch are on YouTube these days.
This year's Call of Duty has been secretly shown off to NBA stars. NBA Summer League players in Las Vegas have gotten an early glimpse at 2023's new cash grab. Call of Duty game. Ironically, the title is seen being demoed on a PS5, as Sony awkwardly still has marketing rights to the franchise. How great is that?
I'm pretty sure it's Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, isn't that what the
That's what the judge said.
Well,
yeah, the judge leaked it.
I thought they weren't going to do a 2023 game. If I remember when MW2 came out, they said...
thought they weren't, but the judge apparently leaked that Modern Warfare 3 is coming out, late November or something like that.
Well, she casually mentioned, like, in November when the next Call of Duty comes out.
They said they are doing a campaign DLC that is essentially the size of a second game. That's what they announced like last year. So very well it could be like, it's not an actual new game. But it might as well be.
Right, like a single player campaign would make more sense than another Call of Duty title with full on multiplayer when they already have like Modern Warfare and Warzone. Like, what do you?
Right,
just like fracturing your audience.
Right. If I recall, that was their plan was to literally avoid that and like just do a whole new campaign that's full size as its DLC as annually, and then like do a big drop for like the current multiplayer. But that way, it's not a whole new game, but it's a whole new game.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I could literally see them just doing like a buy MW3 for MW2 for $60, and people will like get 12 new maps, bajillion new guns, and whole 12-hour campaign, yeah, fine, sure.
Pokemon Sleep will include shiny hunting. Pokemon Sleep players will accumulate Pokemon in their sleep style decks by growing a sluggish Snorlax by giving it meals and consistently tracking good sleep. The more powerfully sleepy Snorlax becomes, the more Pokemon will be available to collect. Have you guys seen this new game/app called Pokemon Sleep that's coming out?
I forgot about it. I remember when it got announced because everyone was like, "Do you want us to go or do you want us to?"
You want us to sleep? What do you want us to do? They want
Nintendo. Do you want me to Pokemon Go or Pokemon Sleep? Which one is it?
They
And
want
it's
everything.
Actually both.
Yes.
They want both. It's Nintendo's like these kids. They're just
24/7.
sitting
Yes.
on their asses doing nothing, and they're playing our games, and they're not sleeping right. So we're gonna make them go walk around. But we're also going to make them get 8 hours of sleep for their growing bodies.
Yes.
Imagine like getting 8 hours of sleep will like increase the odds of getting a shiny or something, and you just have kids like not wanting to get out of bed.
The better you sleep. If you don't wake up and like jitter your legs and stuff, then you will get a shiny. If you don't have sleep apnea, you will get.
Every kid's going to bed at 6 p.m.
See, when they're sleeping, that's when you throw the Pokeball, right? That's a status that makes it easier to catch them.
How come they didn't show any Machamps in bed with any of them?
They only chose the cute Pokemon to show them sleeping in their beds. What's the deal
like a
with that?
giant Mewtwo
muscly
shacked
guy
up.
with 4 arms.
Why didn't they show anybody with Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan?
Mr. Mime, all just covered up.
Nobody
Jinx.
was sleeping with Jinx. Yeah, exactly.
Man.
Alakazam.
That's not Diglett.
Yeah, there's definitely no Diglett appearances, that's for sure. Oh god. Speaking of Diglett, indecent image shown during Super Mario Bros. Movie children's screening. A children's screening of the Super Mario Bros. Movie at Waterside Theatre, Londonderry, was disrupted by an indecent image. An image of a partially undressed woman appeared on screen for several seconds before being removed. Parents were notified, and the Northern Ireland police are investigating how this occurred and what equipment was used. So these kids are on a field trip, and then like a half-naked lady gets put up on the screen. They're trying to figure out who did it and how they did it.
They did a Fight Club.
They did a Fight Club.
Only a couple seconds is a long time.
Yeah, it's a couple seconds.
I mean, compared to a single frame in Fight Club.
Right.
They're just questioning, what did I just see that?
You didn't notice it, but your brain did. How many seconds?
I don't know, but my hot take is, if you want to do this, fine, whatever. But don't do it at a kid's screening, man. The kids don't deserve this. Like, go do it at a night screening where there's adults and stuff there. Like, don't throw the stuff in front of little kids who won't even get the joke anyways, and then it's like, they're little kids, man. They don't need to be exposed to like sexual stuff.
It could have been a legitimate mistake somehow.
But it could be in the movie, right? I don't know if like someone at the theater did it, or was it like in the cut of the movie? It wasn't like specified. I don't know.
So the way movie theaters work now, they send out like hard drives
Like
from the
big old-
studio. And I wonder, because I watched a video on this like dead mall from I forget what state it was in, some mall that was dying, and the theater in there, they didn't want to pay for movies, so they were literally like showing like pirated movies. You would go to this theater, buy your ticket, go into the theater, and not know that it's some dude up there with a laptop that's got VLC loaded up and plays, Transformers Rise of the Beast.mp4 and like
1080p.
and that's what they were doing. And And
you think
so
we could have that kind of
depending on the
scenario?
theater, it could have been like somebody and they had their laptop ready and they had something up on their laptop and about to queue up Super Mario Bros. And they turned the projector on before they closed down that window or whatever the heck happened. We don't know the full story. I'm saying that there could be a legitimate accident at this point, because it's really weird for that to have happened with the way that movies are done now. But we don't know how like sketchy of a theater this was. Was this like an AMC, a Regal? It was. Oh, it's over in fucking Ireland. I don't know how.
I'm looking it up right now.
I just looked it up too. It looks like it's a theater,
it's a theater
and
arts center.
Yeah, so it's like a home, it's not like a chain. It is a.
And this just happened, right? Because like Mario's been released for home media, for months now. It came out digital download back in May, and so yeah, if they're showing at some like theater art show thing, then this wasn't like a normal thing. This was some guy with like a laptop.
It
and
sounds like
kids,
a pop-up got the best of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this sounds like. For sure.
It's a pretty big auditorium, though. Actually, now looking at the layout, but yeah, it's not a.
Yeah, because the movie's been out of theaters for a while now.
Yeah,
because they have a stage. It's not just a movie screen. It's a lot. They do all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah, somebody might have just forgot to close that window before they. Switch.
Well, and
switch
you know how
screen.
You know how viruses work. Like it could just immediately pop.
There's
whenever.
a lot of things that could have happened here. I don't want.
So it sounds like
immediately
it wasn't
malicious.
a prank. Yeah, it sounds like it wasn't a prank.
Yeah, I don't think it was malicious.
EA confirms a single-player Black Panther game from a new studio. Black Panther will be a single-player game. It's being developed by EA's new Seattle studio. The game will be a third-person game, and Cliffhanger Games said they aim to build an expansive and reactive world of Wakanda. Movie video games aren't my thing, but if they're really, really good, Wakanda, a Black Panther GTA, I could be down.
I want to say, like, over the last decade and a half, licensed games have gotten pretty damn good.
Way better than when we were growing up.
Oh yeah, Transformers, those games actually tend to be completely like solid games. Sometimes they're still a miss, but a lot more hits. A lot of superhero games now, because of the popularity of the MCU, they do tend to have a little bit more quality control than when we were kids.
It's like different now because like growing up, like the licensed games is like, okay, Lion King came out, there's a Lion King game, and now you're kind of seeing games not necessarily just based on a specific movie, but like the characters and like some other story maybe that they could do. So I don't know, like this won't follow the events of like the Black Panther movies. Like the Avengers game didn't follow the events of like any of the Avengers movies, so they're not like that movie kind of tie-in kind of cash grab that we're used to seeing when we were kids.
Yeah, like we had the Superman game growing up, which is like one of the worst games ever made. But kids nowadays, they get Spider-Man, which is one of the great, it's one of the best games on the PS5.
The same year, though, that we got Superman 64, we also got Spider-Man by Neversoft. Which, we were at the beginning of these can actually be good.
Sega of America workers successfully vote to form a union. A supermajority of 144 employees spread across marketing, localization, product development, and quality assurance at Sega of America have unionized with the aim of securing higher base pay, improving benefits, and more, with a majority of 91 to 26.
I
don't know. Good for them, I guess.
Yeah, unions are good. Very pro.
Depends on who you ask.
Well, I'm saying.
So I
unions.
don't know a lot.
I don't
about
know much about
unions.
it
I've
either.
never been a part of one. What are like the cons to a union?
You have to pay. That's the whole thing. Like
You have to
there's a
pay
union
The
due.
union dues.
Yeah, which
There's
usually aren't even
dues.
actually like insane at all. They're not egregious. Like the amount of money that you're paying to your union when you end up when they do benefit you, like it's like insurance. Think of it as like kind of like insurance, right? Except less egregious and less annoying to deal with, and it actually benefits you.
Well, we'll see how this affects the future of Sonic. Diablo 4 devs suggest obsessed players go do something else between seasons. In a recent live stream, the devs behind Diablo 4 told players to take a break, play something
Don't
else
touch grass.
if they're out of things to do in the game. My hot take is I think this sounds like they're very confident in their game. And you don't hear that a lot. I feel like a lot of times developers are almost insecure and they almost like really want people to play their games and they're desperate. But to have such confidence in your product and your game that you know people are going to come back to it, that you say, yeah, go play something else for a while. Go do something else. Knowing that they'll come back, I think that's kind of that's a flex. That's a subtle flex in my opinion.
A lot of the most vocal players right now complaining about Diablo 4's endgame and there like being nothing to do. Like,
oh, dude.
I mean, they've gone super hard since the game's release. I mean, they've already put hundreds of hours into a game like in a matter of weeks. And so it's like you can't complain after putting 300 hours into a game and reaching max level and being like there's nothing to do. Like, dude, relax, like there's more stuff coming.
Yeah.
It's like you went hard.
How do you kill that which has no life?
Exactly.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense for the developer that developed like, World of Warcraft, World of Warcraft, knowing now like Blizzard has addicting gameplay loop down. They have been able to get that down for over 20 years, basically, and so yeah, they of course they have the confidence to be like, yeah, go play something else. You'll be back. I know you'll be back.
And I think also they're able to say that because it's not a free to play game. They already made a boatload of cash from game sales, so it's like, yeah, go play something else, and come back whenever. Like, you already bought it, so
that whole South Park episode is so freaking funny. I forgot how funny. I want to watch
it again.
I love it. The dude stands up. He's like, I've got to get home. My kids are playing World of Warcraft right now. And he's like, Jim, your kids' characters are already dead. Like the board members are just losing it.
The sword of a thousand truths. Thumb drive.
Why don't you just find a computer and you log on? They're like, I don't have an account. I have a life. 87% of classic video games are endangered, according to a new study. A new study conducted jointly by the Video Game History Foundation and Software Preservation Network has revealed that 87% of classic games in the United States are critically endangered, meaning they are either entirely inaccessible or extremely difficult to play. Legally, of course, unable to be purchased in a physical or digital form via their publisher's online storefront. That's kind of scary for gaming overall.
Right. So the Video Game History Foundation's I've talked to Frank Cifaldi about it. He works there. Kelsey Leland from Pink Gorilla Games also is part of that organization. They were talking about it today on Twitter, but Frank has a really good write-up from several years ago where he starts comparing video games to movies, right? And he starts comparing, he uses like Uncle Buck as an example, how this movie, Uncle Buck, came out in like 1980,
John Candy.
Yeah, it's John Candy, Macaulay Culkin, and you could still buy it today. It's still in circulation, this random movie. And it's going to play on whatever Blu-ray or DVD player you buy today, right? Your copy from when you bought the movie from 1999 is still going to work. But we don't have that in video gaming anymore right now. We don't. We have this, everything is like released and then it's cut off and it might not ever be released again. We have new hardware cycles constantly coming out, so we can't play old things. When we deal with emulation, it's entirely like fan driven for the most part for preservation. That's why people dump the ROMs. It's why people share them so they can't go out of circulation. Same thing with like old patches, and same thing with old updates and other content. And it's actually why I'm really, really against this current business model of like games being always on, right? Like if I want to experience the original version of Fortnite, good fucking luck. It's not happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's like 87% of games prior to 2010 are just inaccessible in a legal manner to obtain. And it reminds me of a conversation we had a few months ago. I don't remember which one of you two asked me. But they said, if I could have any console and its entire library, what would it be? And I named the Super Akan, this obscure Taiwanese console from 1994 that was 16-bit. It was kind of like a Super Nintendo, but it came out to compete with the PlayStation, and it failed. There's like 20 games, I think, maybe released for it. And because it's so obscure, it's not properly emulated still. All the games have been dumped. The ROMs are out there, but like you can't play them. All of them run in the emulator that's been developed for it because it has to be completely reverse engineered by somebody that's a lunatic, is dedicated enough to like reverse engineer a console, because it's not like they have technical manuals out there released for it, so it has to be by hand, and sometimes that's requires getting the original console, stripping the dies off of the chips and using a microscope and looking at how the microchips are designed so you can program a software emulation of those chips, and then making sure they are compatible with the games. Because right now you can't play Super Akan if you can't play a Super Akan game emulated with sound, so it's still nowhere near the original experience. That entire library is like basically inaccessible. And you think about all the like arcade games that were like not that popular, so they're just like whatever. They're not out there. Like I got super excited a month or two ago when IGS released their collection on the Nintendo Switch, because it was the first time Martial Masters, an arcade game from like 1999, 2000, it's a fighting game, has been released. And I have John, did I ever tell you a story about when a guy pulled a knife on me at an arcade?
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Have I told you about this, David?
I don't know, but this will be in the unedited members only version.
So what I gather from what you're talking about, it seems like dumping ROMs, is that like enough to preserve the games, or like how much of this has to do with just like the actual hardware, or like the cartridges not being degrading over time, or
Right, dumping the data so that because the cartridges will degrade over time, especially then once we moved over to like disc-based media, that stuff lasts even less time than a cartridge will. I have like Sega CD games that have rotted, and they've been kept in good condition. They just start eating the layers of foil, start just lifting away from each other, because it's just foil that's just like laminated together. That's how you make a CD, and so it just starts peeling apart eventually. And so that's that's one way, but you need to be able to properly play the thing, right? And so being able to like I said, you have to have the emulator, and that requires reverse engineering hardware. And so you have to have dedicated people that, for the love of the concept of it, do this sort of thing. Like emulators for a long time were just passion projects by people, just because curious people, tinkerers, and stuff like that, and with no assistance or help from the original developers.
It almost makes me think there needs to be some kind of, public domain on video game consoles after a certain amount of time.
And there is. That's how come you can make clones of like the NES now and stuff like that, because enough time had passed. However, software, because of Disney, they have strong-armed the law to change copyright. They used to expire after like 20 years on IPs. Now it's 120 years, and Mickey Mouse is coming up on about to become public domain, and I'm not going to be surprised if Disney's deep pockets and lawyers can strong arm our government to change the laws on copyright again, to stretch that shit out into like 150 years maybe.
Last but not least, a mall in China is starting to offer husband storage. Global Harbor Mall in Shanghai, China, has introduced glass pods for partners who would rather play video games and wait for their loved ones instead of following them around the mall. Pods are equipped with an armchair, gaming console, and a selection of retro 90s games. My hot take is, why would you even go? Just stay at home, play on your own setup.
Well, I mean, one, can you imagine going to the mall and trying to figure out where you park your husband? Second, have you seen the pictures, David, of like boomer dads at the mall with their wife, and they're like carrying all the bags, and like sometimes they're all just sitting there at those chairs that are in the center aisles of the mall, just waiting for them to get done.
But why go?
Because you have the arms, so you can carry all the bags. There's that.
You need to carry stuff in and out of the car.
There's that. Sometimes you need to go to Sears, and she's like, "Oh, I need to go to Victoria's Secret," and you're like, "Okay," so you do. And
yeah, that makes sense.
There's a lot of reasons why. I don't know. Me and Allison don't have this problem. Like we like going shopping together. Like,
yeah, I'll go. I will go. I will only go if I'm A, I need to get something, or B, I'm just going to go to spend time with Katie because she wants to walk around and do her thing, even if I have nothing else to do. But at that point, I would never just park myself somewhere and play video games. If I really didn't want to go, I'm not going to go and be like, I'm going to spend time with you and then sit there. You know what I mean? To me, I'm like, I would rather be at home on my own stuff.
I don't think, Dave, I think
time.
you're looking at this wrong. I don't think the idea is, all right, we're here at the mall, honey. I'll see you. Get to the husband storage. I'll see you. And I think what it is they go together for what you said, to go spend time. Yeah. But she's not done. He
is tapping.
He's tapping out. And instead of going, just like sitting down and staring at your phone, melting your brain, you
play some games.
You go and you do something. Yeah.
There's one comment here that says, the pods give these men an incentive to go shopping and to pick up the bill for their wives shopping.
That's hilarious, dude.
That's what it is. It's like, oh, he's over the storage. You at the husband storage. You're ready to go. You call him. Hey, I'm ready. Can you come over to this store? And he comes. He's like, all right, yeah. He leaves the husband.
Even
storage.
better, he's in the pod playing. She goes to a store, gets something, comes, drops it off in the pod with him, goes to another store, gets something, drops it off in the pod. She doesn't have to carry everything around. Win, 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 win. Everyone's winning.
Right.
And if you win in the game, then you win.
If she knows where she parked her husband, then yeah, it's she goes and just drops it off in the pod. Maybe she has to re-up on the time.
Yeah. One user said, "It's really great. I just played Tekken 3 and felt like I was back at school." And then another man said he thought there were areas for improvement. He says, "There's no ventilation or air conditioning. I sat playing for 5 minutes and was drenched in sweat."
Yeah, they are glass, so it's kind of like a little greenhouse effect.
Just come out. just pouring sweat. Your wife's just like, what?
Did you have a good time, honey? And you're like, I need water.
I would be interested to see the game setup and what they're playing on in there. If it's
you know what it reminds me of, like when their arcades were at malls and my parents would drop me off at the arcade
that's
while they
the
went
best. Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I guess.
It's the same
but
thing.
I was like 10 years old. I wasn't a 30-year-old man with a wife, and I don't know. I'm not a for or against it. I just wouldn't use it.
You're saying you've never gone to the mall with Katie, and then she's not done shopping, but you want to go. You want to go play video games, or you're done.
No, that is 100% of the time. But I'm just like, well, I'm here to spend time.
That's
with her,
when you go to husband storage.
No, but I don't. I don't.
Well, that's
I
what
just
you
stay
would
with
do.
her. That's yeah.
Yeah. See.
Well, I wouldn't, but I'm saying I wouldn't do it even if it was there, because I'm just there to spend time with her. Even if I don't want to, like, I don't feel like I want it. I would just never utilize it. That's all I'm saying. If I ever want to play video games, I just would go home and play video games.
Like, I enjoy going shopping with Allison. We
Right. Yeah.
The same sense of humor on stuff, and
yeah, me and Katie don't laugh together ever, so it's just kind of like
we tend to shop at the same stores and stuff too. So it's all like
Lush.
Yeah.
Lush. I don't shop.
Bath bombs? Are we getting bath bombs after this? Use promo code Henry for 10% off a Lush bath bomb.
Only on the robot one. The robot one that's made out of like chamomile, I think. It's
oh
like
my
blue.
god! The fact that you know that there's a robot chamomile Lush bath bomb is
turns your
killing
water blue and it looks like anime water. I swear to God.
All right, that's the pod. GG's, everybody. GG's.